Joining me in the room podcast to talk about his huge late notice matchup versus Randy Costa at Combat FC 5 is no other than Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. What's up, my friend? Congratulations on a huge New England MMA matchup, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's great to be here, and it's even better to be here on these circumstances.
Definitely, bro. It's been a little while, man, since we talked about an MMA fight. Couple of last MMA fights, late notice, and this is no different here, bro. Let's talk about it. Going against Randy Costa, who is slated against a different opponent. That guy fell through. We saw Randy on social media talking about, his fight fell through, but he got another opponent. No one knew you were going to be this opponent, bro. Let's talk about it and how did it come together?
Yeah, I mean, it started probably like a few weeks ago when CES reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to fight Randy. And they said 135 initially. I came back and I was like, I like Randy and I'm friends with him. So I would never take this fight unless he kind of already said that he would do it. And they didn't say that he had for sure, but it was pretty much made apparent that he was willing to take that fight. So I they came back though. They go, oh, but it's at 140 now. So with like the curveball, I just like sat on it for a day. I talked to my guys like Pulver and Bill, and they were like, yeah, let's do that at 140. So I hit him back up. I said, yo, let's do it at 140. And they said, oh, well, Randy already got a replacement opponent, so we don't need you. Thanks anyway. I was like, oh, all right, sounds good. So the weigh-ins come for that CES event, and there's no Randy Costa on the card. I'll show you my fucking messages. I immediately hit the matchmaker up and was like, yo, what the fuck? Is Randy not fighting? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Is he not fighting? And I was like, I mean, you're the matchmaker.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's not fighting. I was like, that's so whatever. I thought that was a bit odd. But then Combat FC hits me up, whatever, a couple days ago, and they say, like, we heard you were thinking about taking a fight against Randy short notice. Would you be willing to do that? And yeah, the rest is history. You know, a huge opportunity. I love I love huge fights. I mean, all my recent fights have been just like massive fight after massive fight. It's either a big name or it's a big name and it's short notice. Against Lacey, it was short notice and up a weight class. I mean, yeah, and I've been traveling all over, and I fought Wilson Reyes on 5 days' notice. Yeah, I'm just like made for these fights right here. So I'm so excited to put on an incredible show for the all of the world, but especially for New England.
Excellent. Well, before we get to the matchup and talking about Randy, because Randy did fight the last Combat FC card, and he is back in town after being in the UFC for 6 fights. Buddy, you've been busy. I mean, your last MMA fight was against Wilson Reese back in March on late notice, 5 days. You flew to San Diego. And then you did a couple of grappling matches, and here we are with this fight. In between that, you did talk about trying to get on CES to, maybe that matchup was going to happen there. But was there any other cards since that March matchup that you were trying to get on to fight in MMA? Nothing just came together for you?
Yeah, I mean, always really. So, constantly, Mike Pulver, I'm in his messages, about, is there a matchup this time? Is anybody around? Everybody's having babies and stuff. So it's like, there's like not a whole lot of matchups. I mean, admittedly, not a lot of people want to fight me either. I mean, I fight Wilson Reyes basically on a favor, and then he wouldn't return the favor and give me a full camp for a rematch. So yeah, it's been like nobody really wants to just sign the dotted line. I'm too experienced. I'm too dangerous. My record is more of like a journeyman record, but I have like fucking prospect type of talent. So yeah, I mean, the fact that Brandy was willing to sign it, it was like, a blessing also because it has not been easy to get matchups.
Excellent. And for him also, with fights falling through, as we know, I know his last fight card, fights falling through there. But also, Johnny, you've been doing some grappling, but you also got some boxing in there, my man, professional boxing. You had, I believe it was your debut as a professional boxer. Is that true? Not too, last week or a couple of weeks ago.
Yep, yep. Pro debut, faced a 6-0 guy who had all six knockouts. And yeah, we took it to him a bit there. Our jab was landing good. We landed some very nice shots, made him miss a bunch. In like the fourth or the fifth round, I fucking made him miss like a four-punch combination and then like walked away from him and bowed to the crowd. It was just like so much fun. And I don't think I've had more fun in a combat matchup actually before. So it was really, really cool and fun and an honor to get in there and do that. So, yeah, I mean, I was literally like, I want to fight badly and just couldn't get any matchups. So it was like, well, boxing is another form of fighting. So we went ahead and threw our hat in there and did our best. And yeah, I learned so much from that. And honestly, like, just like focusing on boxing, you'd think like, oh, my boxing maybe got a little bit better, but my whole MMA game got better. All the footwork that went into it, all of the more precise punches, the more like calculated combinations and things. It just gave me a perspective on fighting in general that just wouldn't have had without boxing. So, yeah, I'm lucky and blessed to be able to do it.
Well, to give some credit to the training partners in gyms, you might have been traveling, getting that boxing work.
Oh
Where were
yeah.
you? Where were you getting your boxing work from?
Mainly from Redline in Cambridge. So Vince Morin has an awesome program going over there with a bunch of amateur killers. And there's one fellow, Kevin, who was helping me out big time. He just won a huge fight at Mohegan Sun, actually. Um, yeah, it just and then some Joe Bush a little bit over at Fight Zone. He was giving me some rounds too. And then Mike Danella and Ryan White, who are both out of South Shore. They just have great striking. Like backgrounds, and they both were helping me prepare big time for this too.
Well, my man, you got that boxing fight, under your wing now. You got that. You can, add that into your arsenal if you ever want to get work there. But man, getting that boxing in is going to work out for you in this fight because, as far as we know, and as we know at Randy, he likes to stand and bang all KOs and all his professional wins. Uh, UFC, a couple of knockouts in there, coming off TKO first round at Combat FC 4. How much is this boxing experience and getting them rounds, during training camp going to help you against Randy in that cage?
Quite a bit, quite a bit. So, I mean, Randy is going to definitely keep me moving laterally. And that was like a huge point of this boxing match. Carlos had a banging right hand, and we knew that we needed to move away from it in order to mitigate it a little bit, which we did a hell of a job doing so. So, yeah, it's going to definitely help quite a bit. And I mean, I was training like almost too hard in a way for the boxing match. I think like trying to get prepared for something I've never prepared for before. I don't think I knew, like exactly how to approach it. So I think I almost was overtraining in a way. And I think that's going to help me out as well. And yeah, getting ready for 6 3-minute rounds is very relatable to 3 5-minute rounds. So my body's always good for 5-minute rounds. It was almost like difficult to try to have to cram it all into a 3-minute round and then do that 6 times. So I'm going to be more than ready on September 15th to go 3 rounds if we need to. But I think everybody watching knows that is not a likely scenario. One
No,
of
it
us,
isn't.
one of us is definitely gonna get this finish. We're both finishers. We both love to finish. We're both hungry for it, and I think that yeah, I think I have all the tools ready to do what I have to do to Randy.
Excellent. Well, my man, as we know, you and Randy are friends. You know each other. Um, from the Cage Titans area, and you probably called a couple of his fights. I don't know, but
Probably.
yeah, yeah. With that, I mean, you guys rooted for each other, and this is definitely a very gentleman-like fight. Even though you guys are going to try to take each other's heads off in there, the lead up to the fight, it's nothing but respect between you guys. And this doesn't happen much in New England. We want it to happen a lot more in New England with fighters of your caliber going against each other. What does this do for you, Johnny? You're fighting a dude that was in the UFC, high hopes. He left New England undefeated with all knockouts. He's back. It looks like he's back where he left off when he was here. What does a win against Randy Costa do for you? You're 36. I mean, there's still time I think, to get to your goals as far as MMA, where you want to be. What does a fight like this, if you come out with a very, very great, great fight in there and a win, what does this do for Johnny Cupcakes Campbell moving forward?
Man, I'm looking at this like it's my UFC debut, to be honest with you. So I mean, Randy definitely has eyeballs on him. Dana White for sure is going to be watching this fight. I'm looking at this as like this is my UFC debut, and what will lead to after this, hopefully, is a 3-fight contract in the UFC. So I do believe I've been here before. I've done this before. Henry Corrales. This is very very similar to that type of situation, and yeah, I mean, I love Randy. We've even trained together way back in the day, and I do feel obviously they see something or they want something like they're Randy picks his opponents pretty much, so they want to try to use me, and I am just gonna 4D chess doing the exact same thing. So I love Randy. It is all respect, but in there, it's all about business. And I think that our history in the cage, I want to be in that cage more than anything in the world. And sometimes I don't think Randy really wants to be in there as much as I want to be in there. And I think that when we're both in there trying to hurt each other, I'm just gonna have too much man behind me.
Well, my man, couple more questions. Coming to Combat FC for the first time, my man. Joe Cav, he's putting on a great show. This is going to be the fifth installment of that show, and they've been very successful in the past. How excited are you to fight in a different promotion, still in New England, but with a huge crowd that's going to be behind you? The place holds a ton of people, and you guys are going to have fans on both sides. Some Randy fans are going to be fans of yours, vice versa. What does this do for your psyche walking into this and having another crowd behind you?
Oh man, it's going to be insane. I mean, Randy's going to probably bring 300 people there, if not more. I'm going to probably bring almost that amount too. So the place is going to be absolutely rocking. Every eyeball in New England is going to be on this fight, and then so many eyeballs from outside New England as well. So it is just going to be exactly what I'm meant to be doing, which is entertaining a mass audience, and it's just going to feel great to be able to display what it is that I do in front of so many people. And then with Randy having a former UFC experience and a little bit of that bump, I'm going to definitely earn a bunch of fans that night.
Excellent, my man. Well, last questions before shout outs, sponsors, social media, all that good stuff. Johnny Cupcakes Campbell, my man, welcome back. But with that said, man, what do we expect to see from Cupcakes on September 15th at Combat FC 5?
Just the absolute best cupcakes that you've ever seen. So every single time you see me, you think, how can he get better? I am still getting better. I'm still fine tuning things. You can expect to see some spinning stuff and some crazy grappling exchanges. I guarantee that. Most likely, you're going to see fight of the year caliber entertainment in that cage on September 15th. So not just Combat FC, but fight of the year for every MMA promotion out there. I can guarantee that. And yeah, I look forward to having a whole lot of fun.
Excellent, my man. Well, again, congratulations on a huge matchup, a real treat for the country, for the world, and especially for New England, man. We love you both, and we can't wait to see the scrap in a couple of weeks or so. So, with that said, my man, Cupcakes, shout out sponsors, social media, thank you, and I'll let you get back to your training, man, for this huge, huge opportunity.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time and your platform as well. Ambassador Pools, that's the sponsor right now. Ambassador Pools, they put the P in pools, so go and hit them up. Excelsior Sport Fighting, obviously, that's my home and my place that I do all my work there. So, hit them up. We got so many good coaches in that place. From jujitsu, self defense, kickboxing, everything. We do it all. So definitely come on by if you're in the South Shore region of Massachusetts.
Excellent. I have your Instagram here. Anything else we can
Perfect.
get in touch with you? Any other platforms you want to throw out there?
Yeah, Twitch, Cupcakes Gaming on Twitch. Hit me up on there. Yeah, Facebook's Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. So
Excellent, my man. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for the
thank
time. It's
you.
been a little while, man.
Thank you.
Another late notice fight and another big opportunity for you, man. Can't wait, my man. We'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks. And again, Johnny, thank you so much and welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Steve. You
All
have a
right.
great day.